And hey everybody, hope you're all doing well. It is SirWillow. We've just gotten back from Disneyland. It was an awesome trip. I'm waiting to see if I'm actually going to connect right, and it looks like I might be. So we're talking about Disneyland, we're talking about mail, we're answering questions, and all sorts of fun stuff. So let's get right on into it. Is it? Oh, there we go. Always love when technology works right. So, we just got back a few days ago from an absolutely incredible trip to Disneyland. Hopefully, you've already seen the first couple vlogs that we've had from it, including the haul that just went up yesterday. And there were actually a couple things that we missed showing off in the haul. You know, it's we still have more coming up. We've got another morning at Disneyland, including Brian Hull that is there. We have the Oogie Boogie Party, which I'll be doing. And then we've got a couple more days where we're going to be wrapping up all sorts of stuff. I'm actually going to probably try to put together another video that shows the food that we ate outside the park. So the Gym Boys round table, in and out, and some of the things like that. And yes, I've got my glasses on because it has been a day where I've been doing lots of reading. So you'll see them pop on and off. It's actually easier for me to see the screen this way. I'm getting old. But hey, Aaron will tell you, this old man here, he wore down those kids that were on the trip. They were all coming home just exhausted. And I'm like, let's go some more. So it was a lot of fun. We had an absolute blast with it, which you probably got to see in the vlogs that we've posted up already. Just had a lot of fun. Disneyland was a wonderful place, a lot busier than I had hoped it would have been. You saw all those reports that the parks are empty and that there's nobody there, and oh no, there were plenty of people, especially in the evenings. You could kind of see when school got out and the crowd started coming in, and it got very busy. And then on the weekends, oh my goodness, it was packed busy. We were very happy we took the Saturday off so that way we could actually go do some other stuff and not fight the crowds all day. But wonderful trip. Got to see just about everything. There were a couple things that we did miss. We didn't do Splash Mountain during the whole trip, mostly because others are like, I don't want to get wet. Bunch of wimps. We didn't do the teacups or Dumbo. There's not, and I didn't get on the Casey Jr. train. That might be the only things we really didn't do that we haven't done other places. We didn't do Toy Story Midway Mania because that's in Walt Disney World, and a couple other things like that. But we hit pretty much everything else at least once, and a lot of it 2, 3, 4 times. Aaron and Joseph, I think, hit Millennium Falcon like 5 or 6 times, something like that. So it was a absolutely wonderful, fantastic trip. Several things, of course, are different with Disneyland and Walt Disney World. It was fun watching Aaron and Laurel as we walked out of the hotel and across the street into the entrance. They're like, see, it's right here. And they're going, it's so close. You know, and oh, by the way, Aaron at one point mentioned, I really want to get to downtown Disney. And we're standing right at the entrance to Disneyland. I said, okay, Aaron, look over there. You see that store? That's downtown Disney. So it was a lot of fun watching the reactions that way. And thank you so much, Kevin. I very much appreciate that. I'd love to meet up with you at Silver Dollar City sometime. Yes, email me a schedule through Patreon, and yeah, would love to be able to do that. I am going to get back to Silver Dollar City at some point this month. I don't know when yet, but I'd like to do it in an evening so I can show my wife the pumpkin stuff. So it'd be really cool. Do I think the Skyliner would work for Disneyland? They don't need it. Here's one of the big things with Walt Disney World and Disneyland. Walt Disney World is spread out. There's literally miles between the parks. Epcot and Hollywood Studios are the ones that are closest to each other, and they're still across the street in a parking lot, and there's still a lot of space. Disneyland and California Adventure literally are a football field's length away from each other, the entrances. And you stay at the hotel across the street. We were staying, our room was a closer walk to the entrances of both parks than it is to walk from Magic Kingdom out to the bus stops. So, I mean, definitely closer than Contemporary Hotel. It was a short walk to everything. There's no room for the gondolas. There's no reason for them. You are just a very short walk. You're right there. It I think it took us 5 minutes, maybe, to walk from our hotel room and be at the entrances to the parks. And then downtown Disney is just another couple 100 feet away. So very, very close together. Which, if you've never been there, it's hard to explain that. Pull up a Google map and you can really see it's just right on top of each other. So very neat, very nice, very convenient that way. There's no, if you're not driving in, if you're staying close by, there's no need for buses. There's no need for the monorail. There's no need for any of these other transport systems. You walk because it's that close. It takes you longer to get on the monorail than it does to walk to it. So, hi, Robert Martin. Good to see you. Sandy did take off, Matt. I am sorry. I don't even know where she is now. Yeah, she's gone. Sorry, she's a cat. I'm not going to fight with the cat. Hey, Billy. Good to see you. Yes, the one thing I do wish that Disneyland had, it was kind of sad to walk around and see the people mover tracks, and there were places, I got some pictures where you could see the brush growing over it, and it kind of sad to see that still sitting there. I'm still digging through my pictures and videos. I came home with over 3,000 pictures and videos. Think about that number, 3,000. I've gone through about 500 of the photos so far, and probably about 300 of the videos, so I still got a lot to do. And I'm actually hitting the road again Monday afternoon for 3 days, coming back Wednesday afternoon, and then Thursday afternoon I'm heading back out again. And not doing anything fun or spectacular. It's going to be meetings and driving my wife to St. Louis, where I'm stuck in a hotel all day because she's in meetings. So nothing fun, but I won't have my main videos and stuff with me, so yeah, I kind of have to wait on that. The vlog for California Adventure is coming up Tuesday, and then I will have one of my segments with Brian Hull on Thursday. I'm working on editing it, but Brian and I had a great conversation about what it's like to have a video go viral on YouTube and go from not having anything to all of a sudden all sorts of people watching and commenting, and oh my goodness. So we had a great conversation about that. So that's actually on tap for Thursday, which I think will be a lot of fun. And then the Tuesday after that, I will have the vlog where we're out and about in the park and doing pirates, and you'll get to see Brian doing his voices and stuff like that. So a lot of fun. Do I think Disney World will get Hyperspace Mountain? I don't know. Disney World and Disneyland have very different crowds. Disneyland, if I were just to throw out round number guesses, I would say 70% of Disneyland's crowds are locals, annual pass holders, people that come to the park multiple times a year, which is why they do the overlays like Haunted Mansion Holiday and Hyperspace Mountain, because it gives something new and different for people to come and see and do. While Disney World, on the other hand, is probably 70 to 80% people from out of state or out of the area who come just once every 2, 3, 4 years, and they want to see things the way it is. So they don't want Haunted Mansion to change. They want Haunted Mansion, not Haunted Mansion Holiday. They don't want to see Hyperspace Mountain. They want to see Space Mountain. And so you're not going to see the changes at Walt Disney World that you will at Disneyland, Four Seasons, and things like that. They generally keep it all pretty much the same, and that's generally why. So I will talk a little bit, too, about Max Pass versus Fast Pass coming up in just a little bit. I do want to let you know I do have some mail here that is piled up as well, so I will be hitting that. And John, it was good to see you. Happy that you're able to drop in. So a few people did stupid things on the People Movers. Actually, Big Steve, that wasn't really why they got rid of the People Mover. Yes, there were people who did some stupid things on it, but they kept the People Mover around for years and years after that. What happened was they decided that they wanted to upgrade the People Mover to something much more interesting and exciting. And so they put rocket rods in place. Well, the rocket rods vehicles were much heavier. They were launched. And so moving these things faster down the track put a lot of stresses on the track. And it started causing issues with the structural support. And they were starting to find microfractures and other things. That and rocket rods never worked right. And so they shut down rocket rods and realized they had caused enough damage to the tracks that they really couldn't even put the People Mover back. And so it has just sat empty ever since. So it's damaged in such a way that I don't know if they can fix it or if they eventually were going to have to tear it down or what they're going to do. But they messed it up trying to improve it and make it something new, and that's what really killed it. So it's kind of sad. It's a long story. There are some people out there who have done some great videos about what happened with rocket rods. I can't remember if it's TPM Vids or Rob Plays, but one of them has a fantastic video on the whole debacle between the People Mover converting to rocket rods and what happened with it. So I never did get to do rocket rods, which wasn't a big deal. But let me jump into a little bit of the mail here, and then I'll hit the Max Pass. If you've got questions, definitely drop them on there. I'm already getting Halloween cards from Barry. So it says, Happy Halloween. Don't eat too much candy. Too much candy. Let me show you something. This is one of 2 bags of candy we brought home from the Oogie Boogie party. And you can see it's nearly full. Yeah, about half full. It's a lot of candy. Yeah, real good for my diet right now. Let's see here. Try to dig through. We got a couple cards, a couple postcards. Let's see. This is also from Barry, Legoland, Florida. Hi, I was went to today. Crowds were very light and temps were woo. He's ridden tiny on this one. Temps were great. All the coasters rode except Coastersaurus and Flight School. Also rode the Shooting Dark Ride and Flats. Then mired Miniland. If you've never been to Legoland, Legoland is a neat little park. It is aimed at younger children, so be aware of that. But if you like Legos, it's a great park. I could spend a day at Legoland by myself. I don't need kids. It's really, really very cool. So, how am I today? I am actually suffering with a cold, so if you hear me kind of get congested and whatever, I've got some tea that I'm trying to work on. I got cough drops. I hope I don't have to swallow one of those. Any ride I wish I could ride at Disney again, but can't due to closure. Jareen, I don't know. I can't think of any offhand. California Soarin', or Soarin' over California. There you go. I much prefer that one to Soarin' Around the World. But so a card. This is, I believe, is from Drew. Scare up some fun. That's a cute card. And have a fantastic Halloween. We're actually getting all ready for that, and I'll be wearing the same outfit Halloween that I did at the Oogie Boogie party. I keep wanting to call it Not So Scary. So, let's see. Will Smith is very attractive when he's blue. I can't say I particularly noticed that about him, but I did think he did a good job as the genie. It was fun. There's actually a comment that my son makes in the vlog about California Adventure. We did get him on Soarin' because he didn't remember going on Soarin' Around the World. I thought we got him on it last October, but we were pretty close to center. We were up near the top, and he commented as we got off, he says, yeah, the Eiffel Tower was kind of like that. And I'm like, yep. So let's see. Sanford International presented by Cambria. Tour. Oh, this is a brochure from a golf tournament that Drew got to see. Very cool. Thank you, Drew. Is the hurricane season over in Florida? Hurricane season generally lasts through November. And even though they call it hurricane season, that doesn't mean that there's going to be any that impacted. It can last from June all the way up through November. And it's basically whether any storms all form out in the ocean, occasionally in the Gulf. But honestly, Florida doesn't get hit by hurricanes anywhere near as much as a lot of people think. And most of the ones that do hit it really aren't that strong. It's like, oh good, we got 2 days of rain and strong winds. It's just when they get basically a category 3 and up that they really start to become dangerous. The others, you just camp out and take it easy. People who don't live near them get all psyched up about it. I like to tell people who are up in the northern part of the country, if you've ever experienced an ice storm, really it's kind of experiencing the same kind of thing. You're going to have some branches and some trees come down. You're going to camp inside. The difference is hurricanes are warm, ice storms are cold. So you get a couple days without air conditioning. But other than that, it's really about the same thing. Just as long as you don't get a real bad one. And then it's kind of like a bad blizzard. So really not as big a deal as a lot of people think. Unless you were living right on the coast, and then you have the danger of the storm surge. That's the most dangerous part of a hurricane, is all the water coming in and flooding the coastal areas. Don't live on the coast and you're going to be fine. And just maybe have to do a little roof work if one does come through. My first year living in Florida was the year of 3 hurricanes, Charlie, Jean, and Francis, and they all went right over our heads. And yeah, camping. So, what am I doing for Christmas? Not totally sure yet. Staying at home probably and trying to rest. So that's the biggest thing. You know what? There was another question. Josh Ingram, and I don't want to miss this. Did I hear about one of the gondolas of Skyliner got stuck for hours? In fact, I actually posted a link on my Facebook page. Check my Facebook fan page for stuff like that, including where I'll be in events and meet and greets. Yes, they did have a little bit of an accident 1 week after it opened to the public. And yeah, they're still working it through. It'll be closed for a while they figure out what happened. And they ought to be very, very grateful that it didn't happen during the daytime when it was hot. Because those people with 4 hours and those things with no air conditioning, that would have been a mess. And there have been a lot of people concerned about that. So, let's see here. I have an envelope here from BZ in Somerville, Massachusetts. And show off the envelope while hiding the address there. And honestly, Johan, even if a hurricane... When I was at Walt Disney World last October, a hurricane rolled up the east coast of Florida. It didn't affect at all. Walt Disney World has closed their parks 4 times, I think, total for hurricanes for one day. Honestly, it's a rainstorm as far as Disney's concerned. It's not going to affect you. It's not anything at all like you're thinking. They're no big deal if you're at Disney. Safest place to be in Florida for a hurricane is Walt Disney World. And I actually did a whole video on that. You're fine. So don't worry about it. Honestly, they're overhyped for people who aren't used to them. The Florida afternoon thunderstorms are generally almost as strong as what the hurricanes are. And I have seen stronger winds and heavier rains from the afternoon thunderstorms than I have from the hurricanes. It just extends out over a longer period of time. So, let me read this letter here. Hunter, I do see your question. I did talk about a couple of the differences between Disney World and Disneyland earlier, so you have to go back and watch that first part, but I'll come back to it. Let's see. Dear SirWillow, and we've got a long letter here. I had to replace my long-serving but dying mouse, so I went to the Cambridge Side Galleria, for it has a Best Buy and a nice rack of tourist folders. I know you collect theme park memorabilia. I actually live about 3 miles as the crow flies from Legoland Discovery Center, Boston, an indoor theme park. It's a yuppie redevelopment of where the Edsel assembly plant used to be. Well, that'd actually be kind of cool. Storybook is a classical regional family park in northern New Hampshire. I've actually heard of Storyland. It's similar to the old Storytown, now Six Flags Great Escape, in Lake George, New York. Even though I never went to Storyland, this brochure brings back memories of childhood trips to Storytown and Lake George. The Boston Globe compares the Adventure Suites, the theme hotel, to the themed hotels at Disney World. Ooh, sounds good. Now I think this hotel's theming pales in comparison to Disney World, so I'd like to ask, what do I think? Do some of the rooms or suites even approach what you would expect in price quality to Disney property? Depends upon where you stay. If you stay at the cheap resorts like Pop Century All-Star, it's a basic hotel. Animal Kingdom Lodge, on the other hand, the rooms are fairly themed. The one other one we stayed at was Coronado Springs, and they were nice rooms, so I wouldn't say they were themed at all. So, as usual, I've included extra brochures so that you can trade them with other theme park enthusiasts, especially those interested in small family and regional parks. Hope that some summer you visit New England, so do I, and have a meet and greet at Six Flags New England, my home park. If you come this way, you should visit a couple of old-time classic parks, Lake Compounce in Connecticut and Rye, New York Playland. I really want to get to both of those at some point. I've heard great things about Lake Compounce. Of course, you have to go to Coney Island in New York. Oh yes, take a ride on the Cyclone and let it beat me up. Absolutely. Love your park tales. I might have something Disney related, but designed in Boston. But that's for another letter mail blog. God bless. Bonnie Z. Bonnie Z. Very nice. Thank you for the pronunciation there. And let's see. Visit Park St. Church if you come to my part of the world. Boston. It's classic New England Congregationalist church. That would be fun. I've actually got a lot of family history up there, so one of these days. Chad, thank you so very much. I really appreciate that. That is awesome. Let's see here. Storyland, where fantasy lives. This is that brochure. That's very, very nice. And then the Legoland Discovery Center. And here's the Adventure Suites. So I'll have to take a look at this. Oh, wow. Okay, I can tell you right now, just looking at those pictures, those rooms are far more themed than the ones that the Disney Resort hotels are. That's not even close. And then, let's see, another Legoland brochure. And there's another couple Storylands, and then the Adventure Suites again. So thank you so much. That is wonderful. Do I prefer Disneyland Castle or Disney World Castle? I don't think that one's much of a comparison. Disney World actually has the better castle. It's just bigger. There's more in it. Very nice. Disneyland's is smaller, although when you look at the things around it, like the Matterhorn, the smaller castle makes the Matterhorn look bigger. But Disney World does have the better castle. It's one of the very few things that Disney World has better than Disneyland. Disneyland has more in it. It's better. The rides are almost all longer. Pirates of the Caribbean, for example, is twice as long. The Fantasmic show is better, which Aaron will definitely agree with me on that. Just honestly, there's not much at Disneyland that I think Walt Disney World does better. The food was better at Disneyland. Oh my goodness, they had some great food. It is just smaller. You don't have to spend hours going between parks and your hotel and everything. It's all right there. I love walking out of my hotel and 5 minutes later be walking into the park and not have to wait for a bus and other stuff. Or if I want to go to the other park, it's walk out and cross, essentially it's like crossing a street and you're in the next park. So it's great like that. So yes, very much nicer that way. Let's see here. How good is Coney Island? Coney Island, not Coney Island. I have never been there, but it is basically kind of the model amusement parks. It's the classic beachside park. So, the Coney Island Cyclone is a legend. Let's see. Talked about Rye Playland. My wife and I got married in the park at the haunted house. That's very, very true. Very true. That's very cool. I don't know what I was saying there. I've heard great things about Rye Playland. Really have. Do I like cartoon gummy bears or DuckTales better? I like gummy bears I can eat. I have not seen the cartoon. And I'm actually opening up a letter here from our missionary friend, my daughter's roommate. So I just got this stack of mail here, so I got to make sure I'm getting everything right. Let's see. Nice shirt, SirWillow. Thank you. I was at a synagogue service earlier this morning, so I decided I tried to dress a little nicer for that. Let's see. Made me wonder, is the old guy on the pen in my merch collection the Six Flags guy? Do I have him here? No, he's on my other shelf. Yes, he is. Called Mr. Six, the one that you're used to hearing Venga Boys. Yes, that is definitely him. And my family joked that I was a lot like him. Oh, another Halloween card. This is from Kathleen and Leah in Canada. Hello, Ginger. My dog's saying hi now. It's a wonderful night for treats and disguises, so this wishes you fun and special surprises. Happy Halloween. So, very nice card, and there is the inside. Let's see. Any funny stories on the Happy Wheel ride? I'm assuming that you mean the Mickey's Wonder Wheel that they now call the Pixar Pal Around. They all chickened out on the fun car. Oh, it was sad. I was all ready to go swinging, and I think Aaron was too, and everybody else was like, nah. So sad. We could have had some good fun. Another card from Barry here with lots of flowers. I wish they'd bring Mr. Six back too. I really do. Let's see. Tomorrow I'm heading to Legoland. You can see I'm getting these out of order a little bit. Let's see. Got a good deal on an annual pass. On a weekend in May, the park had a sale for the annual passes for $99. Usually $169. One-day ticket is $109. Oh yeah, pay $10 less and get an annual pass. That works. Also includes Sea Life and Madame Tussauds in Orlando, parking and food and merchandise discount. That's definitely a good deal. Figure that I will come out ahead if I buy the $99 annual pass. Haven't been to Legoland since it opened. Last time I was there was 2004 when it was Cypress Gardens Adventure Park. That's actually probably about the last time I was there too. We loved it at Cypress Gardens. Absolutely loved it. I've been to Legoland in California and the UK. Look for more stuff soon. I've actually been to Legoland in California when my kids were little, and we really liked it. Haven't been to the UK. I got to get to the UK at some point. Sorry we missed you at Six Flags Over Georgia. We cover that park all the time. You did that park wonders. It needs good reviews like that. Six Flags Georgia was a wonderful park. It really was. My biggest regret about Six Flags Georgia is we didn't have more time. I really would have liked to have been there more. So yeah, my wife even agreed. Okay, my wife can't do coasters anymore, and she was saying, this is a great park. I'd love to come back here. So much to do. It really was nice. Were there magic shows at Disneyland? There's Mickey's Magical Map. Absolutely. That was actually a pretty good show. So, let's see. Another thing from Drew here with the Sanford Pentagon. Very cool. Magic shows at Disneyland. Mickey and the Magical Map, which I will actually show you some highlights in one of my coming videos. So, that was a lot of fun. What's the best tip to make the days go faster to the trip? Find other things to occupy you. How long has my hair ever been? Okay, so back in the 80s, when mullets were the rage, I actually had my hair as a mullet, and if my hair naturally curls, if you see me with longer hair, you'll see it start to curl up. And so it was resting past my shoulders. If I had pulled it straight, it would have been down to the middle of my back. There is a picture of me at a friend's wedding where I'm one of the groomsmen. The groom had the shortest hair. His was about here. And then you had mine and another one, and our hair's blowing in the breeze, and my wife hates that picture. Every now and then, just to annoy her, I'll start walking around singing Billy Ray Cyrus's I Want My Mullet Back. Yeah, she hates it. So it has been long. What are my feelings on all the Epcot upgrades? It's been Festival Park for years now. There's some of it I really, really like. I love the new stuff going in France. The Ratatouille ride is going to be great. The Beauty and the Beast sing-along, I think, is wonderful. The upgrades to the Canada and the China movies are fantastic and overdue. I actually like the idea of a festival pavilion. I think that is a great idea. I've commented about Guardians of the Galaxy before. I'm still kind of... I love the idea of the ride. The ride's cool. I don't see it fitting at Epcot. The Moana garden is kind of weird. I don't like the fact that they're ripping down all of Innoventions. I wish they had rehabbed it and upgraded it. They could have turned one of those buildings into the Festival Pavilion just fine. Spaceship Earth getting a redo is fine. So, I mean, I've got a lot of things I like. The whole tearing down the Innoventions and redoing that part of the park, I'm kind of going, well, we'll wait and see. It could be good, it could be bad. We'll find out. Is Disney World Season Pass worth it if you can afford it? It depends upon how often you're going to go, and that is the key to any Season Pass at any park. Are you going to go often enough to more than get your money's worth out of it? If you're going to go down to Disney World for 2 trips of at least 5 days each, probably. If you're not, no. So that's really what it comes down to. I should come back to Six Flags Over Georgia for holiday in the park. I would love to. The problem is it is a 14-hour drive to get down there. That's a long drive. So I'm hoping to get to Six Flags St. Louis's holiday in the park this year. We will see if that happens or not. Do I watch Resort TV 1? Yes, sometimes. I do. Do enjoy their stuff. How does the sing-along works? Actors, hosts, movie, or animatronics? Yes. Depends upon the show. I have no idea what they're going to do with the Beauty and the Beast one yet. I'm sure that you're going to have video clips, but I don't know what else beyond that. So card from Drew here for pastor and wife. May God refresh you, bless you, and return to you all the joy he gives through you. Thank you so much, Drew. That's very nice. If you go to church, October is Pastor Appreciation Month. Get a card for your pastor. Do something nice for them. Buy them a treat. Give them a gift card. Do something to let your pastor know that that you appreciate them. just as a public service thing, when I first came to this church I'm in, and I'm not picking on anybody or anything, but my very first October, when I asked because I wanted to know if I was going to have something happen or not to get anything, but I asked, hey, is there anything happening for Pastor Appreciation? And the lady looked at me and went, we don't do that here. Oh, okay. Appreciate your pastor. They sacrifice far more than you think. A lot of people think, oh, these people in pastoring, they're just in it for the money. They don't make money. It is a very small number who give it a bad name. Most 60 to 70% of pastors have to work a job on the side to make ends meet. And if they're not, their spouses are, because they don't make enough money to just pay their bills. So give your pastor some kindness. Let's see. I wonder what I would look like with a Jedi braid. I've actually debated, doing something like that one time. So, let's see. Ooh, okay, so this is from Barry. And sorry, Barry, didn't mean to show your address, but yeah. Envelope from Barry with a small package here. And he's got a bag from Legoland with, oh, very nice. There is a magnet with the shuttle on it. And then the keychain. Very cool. Thank you, Barry. And then he's also got some map brochures here. See if I can unfold these. Wow, these are big. Okay, so you can see the outside of it. And that is a big map. Very cool. So thank you so much, Barry. That is awesome. I don't have much from Legoland in Florida at this point, so that is absolutely wonderful. Oh, plus, let's see. Hey, SirWillow, hi. Here are a few things I got for you at Legoland. Sorry about the water stains on the maps. My water bottle leaked in my bag. That is perfectly okay. Thank you so much, Barry. Bye, Rachel. What are my thoughts on Star Wars Galaxy's Edge? Oh, goodness. I'm guessing you have not seen my day one video at Disneyland. It was absolutely amazing. All these people that are bad-talking it, tell them to shut up. Even without riding the Falcon, we spent, between the several days we were there, I would say we spent more than a half day, maybe 3/4 of a day, just exploring Galaxy's Edge and not seeing anywhere near everything. The only place I would compare it to in a theme park is Wizarding World of Harry Potter. It blows Pandora away. It's not even close in comparison. People are saying, but the Falcon isn't like Flight of Passage. Okay, you need to remember Rise of Resistance is coming, and that's your Flight of Passage. So Falcon is the Navi River Journey, and oh my goodness, it's so much better. The shopping that's there's multiple shops. There's several places to eat. There's characters wandering around. Yes, not as many as they originally planned, but watching Chewbacca interact with people and with the landscape and Rey and the stormtroopers and the First Order officers was really cool. The shops are just cool to walk in and look at. The antiquity shop, oh my goodness. Aaron bought his lightsaber there, and it's amazing. Then you add in the experiences of the droid building and the lightsaber building, and it's amazing. It's absolutely fantastic. And yes, I could spend hours there. And then to think that they ended up cutting budget and they cut out the dining, the full service dining there, and some of the entertainment. I would love to see if they brought that back up, but it's an incredible land. It's, in my opinion, it's even with Harry Potter, depending upon what you are a fan of. Amazing area in the park. It really is. So is it worth all the hype? Yes. Yes, it absolutely is. With the Falcon, we did manage, at least for the guys, we all did all 3 different parts on the Falcon. So pilot, gunner, and engineer. And when I was the engineer, my pilots were not real good. They kept me busy, which actually was a lot of fun to be able to hit and all that. The gunner, I didn't do quite so good as the gunner because I was wanting to watch everything going on. It was my first flight. And then the pilot, it's just an amazing thing when you pull that lever and hit hyperdrive. Oh, goodness. Yeah. Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I got 2 more packages here. One from Ann McLaughlin in Scotts Valley, who also blessed us with a Round Table Pizza gift card. And then I have another one here from M. Carver in Texas City, Texas. So I will be opening those up. I did want to talk a little bit about FastPass Plus at Disney World versus MaxPass. And Aaron will probably chime in with me on this. We debated having Aaron do logging in with the voice so he could talk as well. And my computer's doing weird things over here, Aaron. I know I haven't mentioned it to you. So I think I'm going to hold off just to make sure I don't kill the stream because it's being funky. But FastPass Plus at Disney World, you have to book your Fast Passes 30 days, 60 days ahead of time if you want to get your rides. And if you don't get the rides in, you're basically jacked. You're not going to get to ride those big rides and things like that. I loved, generally, the way MaxPass worked at at Disneyland. I love the fact you could not book them before you got to the park, which meant the rides were open for everybody. You could still walk around Disneyland and not have planned your day at all and still enjoy it. That's no longer true at Walt Disney World, at least for the most part. Really did not like... I don't like how FastPass Plus works at Walt Disney World. You walk in the park at Disneyland, you pull up your phone, and you can immediately start booking Fast Passes in either Disneyland or Disney California Adventure, whichever you prefer, because it's easy enough to hop back and forth if you've got a park hopper. You can... And like the old paper ticket days at Walt Disney World, they will just gradually work throughout the day. So if you book one early in the morning, you walk in at 8 o'clock, and maybe your first Fast Pass available is at 8:30. And then it goes on and counts down. So maybe later in the afternoon at noon, you're trying to book one for Hyperspace Mountain, and the first available time is 7:30. But the big rides are available. They only have it on certain rides, and they limit the number of Fast Passes so it doesn't impact the wait times anywhere near as much, with one exception. Radiator Springs Racers allowed in as many Fast Pass riders as Walt Disney World does, so it killed the standby line. Radiator Springs Racers often have a line that's 90 minutes to 2 hours long, and if they reduce the number of Fast Passes, that line would shrink a lot, just because they'd be able to get more riders in. We had times waiting at that when we made the mistake of doing the standby line that we're going, wow, look, they're letting in lots and lots of Fast Passes and we haven't moved. Did not like that. That's the only ride I really noticed that. So, overall, really liked MaxPass. So take the old paper ticket system, make it usable on your phone, throw in all your PhotoPass pictures for $15 a day, and it came out to be a great deal, and loved that system. It felt much more fair and much easier to be able to plan your day on the fly. Hey guys, what do we want to do? We can go here, 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 or we can just walk right over there and do that. And check your wait times, and it was much nicer. We actually walked up to Pirates of the Caribbean at one point, and the whole outside queue was full, and the app was saying 15 minutes. And they were like, oh my goodness, I don't know, is that really 15 minutes? I'm like, yeah, watch, there's no Fast Pass. So, Craig, call George Burnash and have him put you on speakerphone. I could actually, well, okay, do y'all want me to log in Aaron here on Discord? I can bring his voice up. Hopefully he won't blast you. Okay, so let's just see if we can make this work. All right, so we'll see if we get Aaron's voice here in just a minute. Yeah, single rider's the way to go on Radiator Springs Racers. Absolutely.
Hey, can you hear me?
Okay, so I've got Aaron. I don't know if y'all can hear him or not. He just said hello. Yeah, if you don't mind splitting your group up, go single rider on Radiator Springs Racers. Much better. We made that mistake, and then Aaron and Joseph got stuck on it, right? So they said yes, yeah. Aaron, they can hear you.
Okay, cool.
So Aaron, why don't you tell them about getting stuck on Radiator Springs Racers?
Sure. So Joseph and I did Radiator Spring Racers, and right at the very end, after you complete that race, we got stuck for about 10 minutes, and we weren't moving. They kept calling signs all over the radios. We could hear them, and then eventually they started moving everything again. So they offered us a free ride again. But once we did that free ride, half of the audio didn't work. And when we got off, I told a cast member, and basically he said they messed up and they forgot to turn the voiceover back on.
Yeah. So it was funny because I was with the girls actually in watching Frozen live. And had no clue until I started getting messages. So, and I would show you the video, but I'm getting pop-up warnings on my computer saying high CPU usage detected. So hopefully we can keep it up. But yeah, if you want to ask Aaron questions, he can answer you now. Are Joseph and Aaron better engineers, gunners, or pilots? I don't know, Aaron. What do you think?
I think we were, compared to the other pilots we sat in on, we were better pilots for sure.
That's true. Yeah. When I was gunner and engineer, oh my goodness, when I was engineer, those two pilots stank. So, okay, yeah, we are lagging a bit. That's kind of what I was afraid of there. If we brought you in, Aaron. So, we'll see how it goes. I did kill a couple things here, so let me know if we're still lagging or not. Right now, the messages I'm getting are that we're okay and stream health is good. So I'm going to open up this package from Carver. But Aaron had... It was fun because Aaron and Laurel, it was their first time in California. So they were amazed flying over the plateaus and the deserts and seeing the mountains, real mountains. So it was a lot of fun watching their reactions to everything. And, oh, this is different. Okay, so I have this package here from the Carvers, and it's got a thank you card in it. So, oh, and I know, this is actually from one of my viewers in Texas. And let's see. Thank you for the stitch pin. I also sent a few extra bucks for the SirWillow pin. So I have to let you know, if you saw the pins that I was selling, I haven't mailed it yet. I'm really bad. I'm going to do it Monday. I promise, Mackenzie. But I am sending her one of those along with my SirWillow pins, and I do have more SirWillow pins for sale. I'm just throwing it out there, so if anybody asks, do I have any? Yes, I have lots of SirWillow pins. So please don't hesitate to ask. She also sent me several brochures. Sea Life. Hey, we just heard from Barry about Sea Life. And then the Water and Woods Arkansas Outdoor Guide. And the Yogi Bear Yellowstone Park Campground. I still remember going to one of those as a kid. Santa Fe, New Mexico. She's got all sorts of stuff in here. And then, let's see, Natural Bridge Caverns. Grapevine, Texas, Shop, Wine, and Dine. The Wonder World Park in San Marcos. San Antonio coupon book with Fiesta, Texas in there. The Texas State Railroad. And then another Legoland Discovery Center. They've got lots of those. Okay, Aaron, so what was your first impression of Disneyland?
It was a lot smaller than Disney World, than Magic Kingdom.
Okay.
Everything was just so much closer, and because I'm so used to Magic Kingdom, I felt like I knew where I was walking and where I was going, but I really didn't know where I was going.
Keep thinking, oh yeah, this is over here. Wait, no it's not.
Nope, it wasn't.
I love pointing out to them the differences on Main Street, because Magic Kingdom, you're used to basically one long store on each side of the street, and at Disneyland, it's not like that. There are several different shops in there, along with the arcades and the penny arcade and the movie theater and stuff like that. Really fun that way. Really fun. And I was grateful that Disneyland had kept a lot of that. So, Aaron, was that the very first penny arcade machine you'd ever used?
Yes, it was. I'd never seen one until that day.
And if you've never seen one, basically it's a little movie viewer. You drop in a penny, and then you have to crank it, and it will show you this flip movie. And it's a lot of fun. It's a unique thing. So, let's see. Start the Coke store at Disney Springs on Tuesday. Don't sample too much of the Beverly there, Devin. Josh, have I ever seen the Willow movie? I own the Willow movie. Of course I have. That's where my nickname came from. What about comparing the mountains? Walt Disney World versus Disneyland. Perhaps ignoring Laurel's vertigo. Okay, so Aaron, Space Mountain. Which do you prefer?
I think I did like Hyperspace Mountain better than regular Space Mountain here in Florida.
I definitely like Disneyland's better. Absolutely. I like the seating arrangement better. It's a little bit smoother. I did like the Star Wars overlay on. That was really cool. Big Thunder Mountain.
It also felt faster.
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit. It was darker. Much darker. So, Big Thunder Mountain.
That I would say is probably about equal to each other. I don't think I preferred one over the other.
Okay. I like the Disneyland ride just a little better. The queue I would give to Disney World. But Disneyland had one more sudden drop on it, and the explosion lift hill was much better when the effects worked.
Hmm.
We didn't do Splash Mountain, so I can't comment on that one. Uh, Pirates of the Caribbean.
Disneyland's Pirates of the Caribbean is much better. It was also longer
Yeah.
than Florida's.
Uh, the whole first third of it doesn't exist at Walt Disney World except for the skeleton helmsman. So there's a whole intro part that's there, and then there's another last third, well, quarter or so at Disneyland that doesn't exist in Florida. So yeah, that one's not even close. Fantasmic. Okay, now Aaron's not a big Fantasmic fan. I have to let you know that.
I definitely think that Disneyland's was better, though.
Yeah.
I will
Uh,
give it to Disneyland.
they didn't get to see the Peter Pan. They got to see the pirates. And I have to admit, I actually think I like the pirates a little better than the Peter Pan there. The ship coming around was very cool. So much better
Hmm.
than the Pocahontas segment. And it's John Smith! Uh, the night that Aaron saw Fantasmic, the dragon wasn't working. And so they had a water projection of the dragon, which actually worked pretty well. But then Laurel and I went back and saw it again, and the dragon was working. And oh my goodness, it's so much cooler than Walt Disney World's. And having the whole Mark Twain is better. Yeah, it's once you've seen Disneyland's, then you kind of look at Walt Disney World's and go, eh.
I think the Black Pearl for Disneyland's Fantasmic was probably the best thing for me for that show.
Yeah, I wish you'd seen the real dragon, but yeah, that was very cool. Haunted Mansion. What'd you think, Aaron?
For Holiday Haunted Mansion, it was really cool. I know the girls really liked it a lot
Mm-hmm.
because it had the whole Nightmare Before Christmas theme. But I would say if you were to take all that away, it almost seemed like the same ride.
That's kind of my impression. Is it feels about the same. I like the fact it's a real elevator, and I like the
Hmm.
little bit of a walk-in queue after the elevator. Um, I know several people talk about the Walt Disney World's Haunted Mansion being better, maybe because it feels a little bit more like a mansion. I don't know the differences in the actual ride, other than the Escher room where you have the staircases at Walt Disney World. I don't
Hmm.
know of any other real differences, so I don't know. Cassie's
Yeah, because
asking.
obviously. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go on.
I was saying that, yeah, because I'm replaying the rides, both of them in my head, and like I said, other than the layout or the overlay for the holiday theme, I
Yep.
really didn't notice much of a difference.
Um, Craig mentions the Hatbox Ghost. The Hatbox Ghost is at Disneyland, not Walt Disney World, and it's very cool. I
Yes,
actually
that
got
was cool.
stopped at one point right in front of it, so I did get a little bit of video of it. I haven't even had a chance to see if that came out yet. I'm hoping it did. I did get a couple decent pictures of it. The Hatbox Ghost is really cool. So, let's see. Cassie had asked, where did it go? Did we ride Alice in Wonderland? Yes, absolutely. We got a couple big Alice in Wonderland fans in the group, so we definitely did that. Will I ever try to make it out to D23 Expo? I would love to, but budget. And that's basically my answer to almost anything. Will I go to? Budget. My kids are now out of college and out of the house, and so I can't claim them as tax exemptions anymore, which means I pay a lot more in taxes. So there goes a lot of my travel money. And we basically live off of a teacher's salary. And if you know what teachers make, that's not much. So yeah, budget is what keeps me from doing a lot more travel.
So, what were
Halloween.
your favorite top rides?
Okay, go ahead, Aaron. What's your favorite? I know what your favorite is, but
My favorite is definitely Indiana
Indiana
Jones.
Jones.
I liked Falcon, and I did like Radiator Springs.
Yeah, that would probably be mine. Indiana Jones. I was telling them after we got off of Indiana Jones, I says, now you know why I look at Dinosaur at Animal Kingdom and go, it only wishes. Um, Dinosaur is a fun ride, but if you've been on Indiana Jones, you've seen what that ride really can be, and it's amazing. Um, and then Falcon was great. Rise of the Resistance, when if it if it's half of what they say it's going to be amazing. Radiator Springs Racer was very cool. Definitely blows Test Track away. That not even a close comparison there. So
I think I prefer Test Track in Florida better, only because I'm really into cars. So seeing like the queue for Test Track here in Florida, I love looking at all the concept cars and everything in it. So
yeah, but you can do that at the after part without even riding the ride.
you could, but then I also do like the pure speed run at the end, because in cars, I mean, they do have like the hills and the turns for the race, but in Test Track, it's a pure speed run at high speed. So
55 miles an hour. Although it's still the fastest ride at Disney, so or Walt Disney World. Let's see. If we had more time, it would be great to do knots. I would love to do knots. We actually went by it on the freeway, and I got to point it out to them. So it would have been a lot of fun, but it wasn't in the cards on this trip. Yes, I'm still sad about Celebration City. Sandy is not a snuggler most of the time. Let's see. Indiana Jones much better than dinosaurs. Absolutely. One of the Haunted Mansion's stretching rooms is actually an elevator. That would be Disneyland's. The reason Disneyland's is actually an elevator and not an imitation of one is because when they built it, there was not room inside Disneyland itself to actually do the whole ride. So the ride itself is actually outside of the park, and you have to get underneath the railroad tracks to get to it. So they actually lower you down, and then your walkway over to the getting on the ride is actually going under the railroad tracks. Same for Pirates of the Caribbean. The reason you got the drops is to get you down underneath the railroad tracks so you can get outside of the main park and then on where the actual rest of the ride is. So that's why. What was the longest we waited in line? 45 minutes? An hour?
I think it was about 45. Well, I did 45 minutes twice. Once for Falcon with Joseph and Amber, and then we did 45, I think, for Radiator
Springs. We were kicking ourselves for not doing the single rider line.
Yeah.
So, we could have waited a lot longer, but we don't because we used the app to watch the wait times, to avoid them, to book fast passes. And so we kept away from the long waits. I think 45 was about as long as we waited for Falcon. Usually we waited shorter because we would catch it at times when we were watching the lines and when it would go down. So, like, we caught it at the end of the last night, and it was, 10 minutes?
Yeah, it
was 10
like 15.
So, but yeah, use the app and use FastPass, and you can avoid a lot of the waits at Disneyland because FastPass works that way. It's good, as opposed to getting stuck with just 3 rides at Walt Disney World and maybe a 4th or 5th. Let's see here. How is the Falcon in terms of bumpiness? Star Tours is much bumpier. Much bumpier. I thought Falcon was pretty smooth. You got a good bump jerk when you hit something.
Yeah, if you crashed into something, you definitely felt it.
But it wasn't a harsh slamming thing. You knew you hit something, but you didn't get slammed. So I thought it was real nice that way. It was smooth enough. I think my wife would have been okay with her weak neck. That's how smooth. Let's see. Let me open up this other package here. If you guys got another question for Aaron there, feel free to drop them on. This is from Ann McLaughlin in Scotts Valley. Scotts Valley is special to me because it's where my wife and I went to college. The college is no longer there, unfortunately, but that's where I met her. That's where we got to know each other. It's also why, let's see here, when we were at California Adventure and they had shop, we bought a coastal redwood, and we're going to be planting this in the next day or two because our college was in the middle of the redwoods. So that's kind of a sentimental thing right there. Did I get your post about Jungle Cruise? I am sort of can't wait. I missed it. Did we do Soarin' out there? Yes, we did. And Soarin' around the world, it's still same old Soarin'. So, Aaron, did you see Devin's post about Jungle Cruise?
I did not. Is it talking about the trailer that just released for it?
Maybe. Somebody mentioned meeting the characters. I definitely like the character meets at Disneyland better generally. We didn't do a lot of the ones where you had the standard lines, and so but we met a lot of characters as they were walking around. Disneyland allows the characters a lot more freedom to walk around a lot of times, or even if they're going to and from where they're going to be doing the meets, they're walking through the park to do it. So we ran into several characters that way. So, let's see here. This is all from California, and again, this is from Anne McLaughlin, the Marine Discovery Center. Oh, this brings back some memories here. The zip line in the Redwoods and Santa Cruz Mountains. Oh, we actually, let's see, that Mount Herman? Yes, we knew people who lived in Mount Herman. That wasn't very far from our college. Santa Cruz Museum. Roaring Camp Railroad. We actually would walk from the first home that we lived in over to Roaring Camp. It was less than a mile, and we'd walk it on a regular basis. Loved Roaring Camp. Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. That was my first date with my wife, and I actually think I talk about that in a video somewhere. The Mystery Spot, which was a lot of fun. It was the first time in years that my wife was as tall as her little sister. So, neat place. Santa Cruz Wharf. I'm going to try not to get teary because this is so many memories here. Capitola.
Oh, don't cry.
Yeah, I know. Don't cry on this over brochures. Downtown Santa Cruz. So much neat stuff there. Santa Cruz Open Studios. This is also, part of that is where we used to live in Felton. Santa Cruz book. Wow, this. So there's your beach boardwalk. And all sorts of stuff there. And then this is now what my college used to be. And they've taken over the place, remodeled and rebuilt it. And yeah, this will be really interesting to look through. Oh, in fact, it still has the same address, 800 Bethany Drive. And that's where I used to go. Oh, man. Yeah, just trying to look through, and it's definitely not the same facility as it was, but some of the pictures, I'm trying to see if I can find you a good picture here. That is actually, that building there is the old chapel that we'd have services in. So, neat. Thank you so much, Anne. Thank you. Yeah, lots of reminiscing. This will be fun to show my wife. It's because so many memories there. If you can imagine going to school in that, yeah, it was an amazing place. Amazing place. Here, Margaret. Okay. This is Bethany. Oh. So, yeah, now my wife's going to do that. You don't have to do it on camera. That's okay. Let's see. Did anybody in our group use the data pad in Galaxy's Edge? We did a little bit. Did it in line for Falcon, which was cool. I would have liked to have had more time to do that. We were so busy looking at stuff outside that we didn't want to stare at our phones. Favorite restaurant in Disneyland? Blue Bayou. Oh, I mean, we ate at mostly counter services. Blue Bayou was the one table dining, and it was amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Blue Bayou was amazing.
Disneyland hotels or Walt Disney World hotels? Depends upon what you want. Disneyland only has 3 official Disney hotels, but you can stay across the street much cheaper than you can stay on property of Walt Disney World. And the hotels are comparable quality. I like Disneyland setup better on hotels. I don't know if Aaron would agree with me on that or not.
Yeah, their hotel was really nice.
Was Lady Willow happy to have the place to herself while we were gone? No, she doesn't mind leaving on her own, but she does not like staying on her own because she is not a house pet person. She puts up with them for us, but she doesn't like being left with them all by herself. So she prefers to leave us with them. So she was very happy when we got home for that. Let's see. What's the grossest thing I've ever eaten? Cow tongue at summer camp. I licked it. Raw cow tongue. There you go. There's one from the past. I can't do that at camps anymore. It's a health thing now. Have I ever been to a Six Flags or a Fright Fest? No, I do not do those. If it is not family friendly, I don't do it. I don't like all those other things. I say this a lot. No fear, no scares, no blood, no gore, no murders. Not into it. Don't have any desire. I like the Disney Halloween stuff. I like SeaWorld's Halloween stuff. But, no, not the others. Craig, like the atmosphere of Blue Bayou, think the food is better at Napa Rose. I've heard Napa Rose is good. I've heard the 55 Steakhouse is really good. We weren't able to do either of those because of budget. Would have been nice. Storyteller's Cafe, I've heard is really good too. So, need to fix that, Mr. Higginbottom. I have no desire to fix that. Again, I say, If it's not family friendly, I'm not going. I don't like them. I don't enjoy them and never have. So, nope, no desire for it. Thank you. You can enjoy it. Go do it on your own. I'll stay back and relax. So, guess who would like London Dungeons then? No, probably not. So, but I think I covered a lot of the Disneyland stuff. I can't think of anything else. I got all the mail. Thank you to everybody who sent me stuff. And I'm trying to think if I've got anything else here to cover. I don't think so. Aaron, you got anything?
No, we talked about favorite rides, favorite everything, I think, so I think we got it.
Okay.
And I saw Devin did ask if I preferred the Walt Disney World Galaxy's Edge versus Disneyland's, but I think they're the same, aren't they? I've actually never been to Walt Disney World's Galaxy's
They're supposed to be pretty much identical. There's a slight change in coloration to deal with the Florida sun, but other than that, they're pretty much the same. So, let's see. Any word on the new Jurassic Park ride at Universal? Not a clue. So, judging by the descriptions, it's fairly touchy-feely. Hey, my phone's ringing. That's what I've heard about the 1440. Restricted. Yeah, if you can't give me your number, I'm not answering you. Okay. Yes, what they turned my college into is definitely a touchy-feely retreat is a good way to describe it. So, did we watch World of Color? Yes, you will see little clips of that Tuesday. It was amazing. It's what they should have done at Animal Kingdom instead of their Rivers of Light thing. Haven't seen Coco yet. Nope. Not really interested in it either. Sorry. I have a different view of Day of the Dead than a lot of people do because of some of my experiences. It's not the happy, friendly thing that a lot of people think it is, and I'll just leave it at that. So, in that case, I think we will wrap it up. Thank you again for everybody. I hope I answered all your questions. If you've got more questions about Disneyland versus Walt Disney World, please send them my way, because I definitely would love to cover them in some videos. And anything else you want to know, definitely let us know. Did I take her into In-N-Out? Yes, we did. And we will cover that in a video at some point, because I do have their responses on video for that one. Thoughts on Disney Plus? I'm already a 3-year subscriber, just waiting for it to come out. So, did it have a lot of turbulence flying over the Gulf? I don't know if they flew over the Gulf. I think they flew pretty much over the southern U.S. on the way out.
No, we flew through the Gulf on the way home.
Did you? Oh, okay. So, yeah, it's water.
We had turbulence right over Florida because there was it was raining when we landed.
Yeah, thunderstorms. So Johan can't do a video compare of Star Wars in both places because we haven't been to the one in Florida. And I probably won't get to the one in Florida. So I can show you California's, but I can't show you Florida's. So, and since I live in Missouri, it's not an easy thing to do. In any case, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us for this. It's been a lot of fun. Hope you've had a great time with it and that we covered your stuff. Again, send me questions that I didn't answer. Leave them in the comments of the video. Don't forget to check that description for all that other fun stuff, too, as well as Patreon links and Facebook pages and all that are all down in the description. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us, and God bless.